By day, I'm a mild-mannered accountant, but my friends say, by night, I'm the she-wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, hi. Okay, so I couldn't decide whether to call this video how to make $112,000 in 16 minutes or how to make $412,000 in 3 days or how to make $1 million in 2 months. So basically this is about call option trading. If you believe in a stock, if you know it's going to go up, you can buy options and make 10 times the money you would make by buying the stock. Why am I in a bubble? It's a commentary on the stock market, sure. So I don't really know where to start except for to explain what options are. I just realized this chair is really noisy. So why would I brag about how much money I made? I feel like if people don't know what's possible, they won't be inspired to learn new things. So I have a bunch of friends that were struggling like me as single moms, or getting their kids through special needs school and not getting the support they needed from a school district, or I got divorced and I had an abusive husband who basically I didn't have a lot of money left, even though I inherited a lot of money. So I had this huge house to take care of and not enough money to pay for all the things it needed. And I was in a bind, my friends were in a bind, and I had a windfall of money from trading Tesla options in 2013, where I made a lot of money. So I wanted to share with my girlfriends how to do it, because you don't need a lot of cash to make big profits with options like you do with stocks. With stocks, you're lucky if you make 2% a day on a stock. Actually, people on Wall Street don't have those high goals, but I used to have a lot of money, and I used to trade and make about 2% on a good move on a stock in one day. And then I'd sell. But over time, Wall Street guys brag if they get like 15% a year, But being a single woman, supporting my kids, struggling with a house that was too big for me to manage myself, and just being in a bind made me need to feel like I needed to make big profits. So I kind of was at my wit's end as far as like if I was going to lose my house, which was worth a lot of money, so it's not like I was going to starve over the long term, but I didn't have any cash. So I thought, if I really want to save my house, I'll make a big risky bet, and either I'll still lose my house or I'll make a lot of money. So it was worth it for me to do something risky. You can lose a lot of money trading options too. So you want to really be an adult about it and figure out what's right for you. And I didn't tell you to buy anything. I didn't tell you to sell anything. It's up to you and your own heart to believe or not believe. But for me, I've found over the years that if you're a consumer, if you're somebody who buys things and you know what you like, if you read news about a company like Tesla was my thing. That's why I called myself Tesla Chick, because I was obsessed with Tesla. I read all the articles about Tesla. I knew all about their technological advances. I knew how wrong the guys on Wall Street were who don't even drive cars because they go to work on the subway. And so I believed in it. And then I started seeing how Wall Street reacted to the stock because I watched it all the time. So I became an expert in one stock. And if you know one stock, you can make as much unlimited amount of money. Or if you know the stock market in general, like the other thing I watch is the NASDAQ. It's traded on ETF, which is a fancy word I'll explain later. It's traded in a group investment vehicle called the QQQ. But because I have studied the NASDAQ so much, I'm pretty confident, so I buy the TQQQ, which is the triple leveraged QQQ. And it's super risky. And if you buy options, your leverage is like leverage is leverage. Leverage is like when you buy one share of something, it's 10 times as risky. You can make 10 times the money or lose 90% of your investment, So in my next segment, I will explain what options are. But in this segment, I just want to say that most of you are women. I've called this the Call Girls Investment Club. But anyone who's a humble consumer who thinks they don't know anything, you know what you like to buy. You know what you believe in, what products, you know when you switch over from buying things at the store to buying on Amazon, So trust your own instincts as a consumer. You're right you're on the front line. You're like the soldiers on the front line who really know what's going on, and the generals who know everything back in DC or New York, maybe they don't know as much as you do. So you need to learn to trust yourself. Also, I have this I have sort of like this magical aspect of believing in things. Like, you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, people are going to freak you out when your stock drops and you'll sell it low. So you have to have some faith in yourself. Now, I feel like women don't have as much faith in themselves as men. I have a cat here who wants to come up, so I'm going to let her. I'm going to let her because she loves this bubble chair. And because, you know what? I can do this because I'm financially independent. I don't need to please people and not have a cat in my financial video, Because if you become financially independent, you don't need to kiss up to people. You can wear, like, I used to have $1 million and walk around in sweats, because I don't need people's approval. Although I like it. But where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. I do have ADD, so I get lost in other thoughts sometimes. But my point is, there's a lot possible with options. I mean, I will tell you how I don't have all the facts and figures. I print out my spreadsheet, and I actually don't have on my spreadsheet the numbers I need to give you exactly, but I'll print screenshots and put them in. But basically, I woke up one day last week and I saw Tesla was down, and I saw how the stock was behaving. And because I'm really aware of Tesla stock and I see things that are patterns because I've watched it so long, if you look at anything long enough, you can figure it out. So I watched Tesla stock so long that I saw this pattern, and I knew it was going to, just for the day, it was 4% down, and I thought, it's going to have a nice climb because it's going up on this day with terrible news. So I bought some options. And I kind of really believed in myself because then it started going positive. So I bought more options. And within 16 minutes, it had gone up to like 6% up. And I thought, this is good enough for me. I'm going to take it. So I sold my options, and I made $112,000 in 16 minutes. And I posted on Facebook. That was a fun 16 minutes. So you could do that too if you learned about a stock, if you are lucky enough to have a stock like Tesla. I like Tesla because it's so volatile and it's a really good trading stock. But the TQQQ is also a really good trading vehicle because it's super volatile. If the NASDAQ goes up 1%, the TQQQ goes up 3%. So trading options, day trading is what I do. It's not for everybody. Everyone can be right, even if they disagree, depending on their time frame. So for me, I'm finding small moves and just riding along, and that's been working for me. So I feel like that I mathematically looked at the stock market, and if everything's going up like this, if you could ride this and this and this, you could make a lot more profit than if you just rode it all the way up. So I just decided to do that because I get bored easy and I wanted to do something challenging. Anyway, join me for my next video will be about what options are.